What is going on, guys? We're the Little Kings, and we are here with a very spooky Halloween edition of the podcast. My name is Ryan, aka No Mercy Merc.
And my name is also Ryan, aka Penguin Monster. This week on the Little Kings podcast, we talk about AOC and Ilhan joining an Among Us stream on Twitch to get out the vote. We talk about content creators versus esports in the world of video games. Twitch DMCA Takedowns have been going out to all kinds of streamers. And we tell our scary ghost stories for this special edition of the Halloween podcast.
Ooh.
What's going on, man?
Oh, hey, dude. It's been a while.
Yeah, this is the part where we act like we haven't been talking to each other for like half an hour already.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to be back recording. Nice to not have the test hanging over you. I've got my house issues resolved. Things are getting back into a good place, I feel like.
Yeah. Almost every delay in the podcast has been my fault, so I take blame for majority of them.
Well, we didn't have to tell people that.
Well, I want the blame to be on the proper party.
Okay.
We'll say that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure there will be times where it's my fault in the future. So don't worry about it.
You got like 4 chances to catch up. So
okay. So way back when, during our last episode, we talked about something that was going to happen, an event that was going to happen that has since happened, which was Mr. Beats. That's like the hot new DJ. Yeah, Mr. Beast had his Creator Games 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was...
How did those go?
Yeah, so it was a live stream. I watched the whole thing actually, as it was live. It was pretty entertaining actually. Basically the setup was, I think it was 30 total creators, something like that. And basically it was bracket style tournament. It was hosted primarily by MrBeast, of course, and then Courage was kind of his co-host. And then he had like a side show that he could throw it to every once in a while, which is like the typical MrBeast people, like Chandler, Carl, Chris, all those people. And then also Nadeshot was with them because Nadeshot and Courage traveled together.
Yeah.
And Nadeshot was also the winner of Creator Games 1. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Creator Games 1, I didn't watch, but to my understanding it was the same tournament style, but it was only rock, paper, scissors. And MrBeast himself admitted that got a little bit old as it just kept going on and on.
Yeah.
So this one was a whole variety of things. It was mostly trivia based. So there was all kinds of different questions. But then he also had like these geography questions where he'd hold up like a random country or state or something like that, and people had to guess what it was. He had, is this a cake or is this the item? Which I was a big fan of. That's a big trend right now.
Wait, was it a physical cake?
Or yeah, was it like so he had like of a cake? No. So he had like an Amazon box. And you had to guess whether that was truly an Amazon box or if it was a cake.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun for people to guess. And it was a lot of fun to watch. It was live streamed. The live stream itself at one point went over 1 million concurrent viewers, which is pretty insane for a live stream. So that was that. And then the cool thing that happened was at some point in the tournament, basically people got out and then it made it to like the semifinals. And there was one slot where you could vote back in a creator. So everybody that was watching, they basically threw up in the stream a poll for who should come back in.
Yeah.
And the person that got voted back in overwhelmingly, I think got like 67% of the vote or something like that, was Dream. Do you know who Dream? Yeah.
I could have guessed that. I
Yeah.
really could have guessed that.
So Dream, we talked about, I think maybe like episode 2 or 3 of this podcast. But he's a big Minecraft creator and has just taken off. And it's so funny because no one knows what he looks like. He's never done like a face cam or anything. Still. So basically there was a picture of his logo. It's just like a stick figure. And then MrBeast's side had a camera to verify he wasn't cheating. And he would say his answer. But no one actually, he was the only person that was not on the actual game. So that was interesting. He didn't win though. The winner of it, I might not get her name completely right. Dixie D'Amelio, I think is her name. She is a TikTok star.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was a little bit of cheating because her sister's name, I think, is Charlie. They're both huge on TikTok, and it was her sister, and then their parents. So it was 4 of them that did most of the questions together.
What?
Yeah. So there was
a 4v1.
There was some people that would have like their wife, like Matt Pat had his, you don't know Matt Pat, we've already discussed this, but had his wife who is also like a content creator as well. Some of them had 2 people, but the majority of them had 1 person, and they were the only one with 4 people. Now, MrBeast, to be fair, in the final round said you have to pick 1 person.
Okay.
And have them do the questions. And she did win the final round. But to get there, it was definitely a group effort. And there was clear times where like the dad knew the answer or just one of the sisters or something like that.
That's
yeah. So
I don't
that
like
is what it is. Yeah. I mean, obviously they weren't taking it that seriously.
It's a lot of money to charity, is it not?
So it's $300,000, and it's not to charity; it's to give away to your fans.
Oh, that should be taken very seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I think it should have been consistent the whole way through, where they had to nominate 1 person to go into the round.
I kind of agree.
It's cool to cycle through if that's what you want to do, but so like were the parents required to be there because of the girls' ages, or like why?
That could be, absolutely. I think they're young teenagers.
Okay.
I don't really know their ages, to be honest. But I do think they could have had it that just 1 person would answer at a time.
So wait, I'm confused. Are these girls like, is their content separate, or is all their content together?
No, they have their own channels. They have their own TikTok profiles.
They should have been 2 separate people in this.
Well, but they're family. What? They're family.
So,
well, like Matt Pat. Well, I think his wife and him work on the same channel. But I can kind of understand them doing it together. I wouldn't have had as much of a problem if it was just the 2 sisters, but I didn't think about your aspect of it, which is they might have been too young to be on there alone.
Yeah. Because I think if you're like 13 to 18 or whatever, you need parental supervision or something.
Yeah. But they are probably the most popular people on there. Of that 30 group, in terms of like viewers, they pull like 50 to 100 million views on their TikToks. Like TikTok is insane. Obviously, it's very quick content, so you can get through a lot of it. But it is just killing the game right now in terms of views.
So, I guess first of all, do we know how TikTok counts views? Like if it loops 3 times while I watch it 3 times and show my friends 3 times, does that count as 3 views?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm thinking like, I wonder, because they auto replay, yeah.
Right.
So like I wonder if you watch a second after it replays, if that counts as a second view. So
Well,
like are all the numbers inflated times 2 basically?
I mean, even if it does, there's the like button, which
Mm,
many of them will have. I've seen 50 million likes
that's
on
insane.
TikToks. So that's you can only do one like no matter how many times you look at it.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, it's crazy.
Huh.
I think it's just
Interesting.
because it's such short term content, and the way you can move through it is just so easy. You just slide through one to the next. Um, you could, if you spent 15 minutes looking at TikTok versus YouTube, you might only see one video, maybe you see 3 or 4 at the most. TikToks you could have seen 30 or more. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's just insane, and there's huge followings for people on there
Yeah.
because there's like your following, and then there's the for you page, which is like the algorithm figures out what it recommends to you, and the
Hmm.
algorithm's pretty good. Like I'm the TikTok guy again. My for you page looks completely different than my wife's. Like we hardly have any overlap. Every once in a while, she'll show me something and be like, "Hey, I've got something funny." And I'm like, "Oh, I saw that," but it's not even close to any other platform I've been on.
Hmm.
Reddit or YouTube or whatever. Like it truly does customize things to exactly your interests on there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. I'll
yeah,
give them that. I'll give them that.
yeah. I would say my wife's a lot more on like the mainstream side of TikToks, which is like the Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio, which is like the dances. Like people,
Mm.
everybody knows TikToks for those dances. I have 0 of those. Ex- well, except if it's like a very attractive woman that's doing the dance.
Only the most attractive women show up on your browse section.
Well, if I'm gonna get a dance, it's gonna be an attractive woman that's usually very curvy and not in the most clothing in the world.
Got it.
But I get a
Got
lot
it.
of like comedy
Exposed.
stuff. I'll get like oddly satisfying videos. I get a lot of like
Mm.
food videos because I like to cook, and that like they'll get different recipes, like just all kinds of different stuff.
Hmm. That is cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. I still have yet to download the app
don't do it.
ever.
Don't do it.
So I will not.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I will not.
I've thought about
Okay.
deleting it 100 times. Yeah.
So back to the winners.
Oh yes.
Do we know how they split the money between their fans?
I didn't
Has
really
that
follow
been
up on.
talked about?
I would think MrBeast would do a follow up video
Yeah.
on that, but I haven't seen anything really on that.
Okay. All right.
He
Cool.
did, he
Cool.
did do though a podcast with Courage and Nadeshot. I think it's just called like the Courage and Nadeshot show, uh, which I thought was really good. It's definitely worth checking out. He talks about YouTube and his thoughts on YouTube a lot in that podcast.
Hmm.
So I thought you would be interested in it, and then also whoever listens to this might be interested in it as well.
Wow. So I don't think we could have planned this segue any better,
There we go.
honestly. So I watched a YouTube video today
Hmm.
about Nico, which is the TikTok star that recently signed to 100 Thieves,
Yes.
which is Nadeshot's company.
Yes.
And I wanted to touch on just how good 100 Thieves content is on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's professionally done. Like it is the highest like quality content I've seen since Casey Neistat. Like
I
for sure.
I almost feel like it definitely production value is super high. I almost feel like it might be too produced for YouTube. Like
Oh.
it almost feels like you're watching like a normal TV show. Like it almost feels like Netflix,
Yeah.
which I feel like is good in some ways, but then also I don't feel like it's as personal as a lot of other content on YouTube, which I know draws a lot of people.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. So it definitely super well produced. I enjoy a lot of the videos, but even like I've watched quite a few of the 100 Thieves videos. I'll even prefer like Nadeshot doing like a vlog versus they did like an Among Us video.
In IRL?
Yeah, yeah, which was
That was so
it was a great video, but at the same time, like I didn't really learn anything about the people in it, and it was kind of like just the video as it was. But I'm just saying, like it felt much more like a game show versus a YouTube video to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I've just kind of noticed that it is very overly produced, and if you're into that, that's great. But I could see that being a little bit of a turnoff for some people on YouTube specifically.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I could see it really appealing to people who just thoroughly enjoy people in 100 Thieves
Yes.
as individuals, and to see them all come together in these high quality like videos would be just like amazing. Because I love Courage,
Yeah.
and I technically I've never watched Valkyrie, but she plays with Pokey and them all the time on
Right.
Among Us. So I hear her all the time. I know her voice as soon as she talks, but I had never put in like a face to the voice before.
Yeah.
So like it was fun to finally see her. And like if I followed all of them and just loved that whole, I think what they called it was a universe. So they're trying to come up with their own like MCU or whatever.
Right.
But like if you followed that whole universe and to watch them all come together would be so cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
they have a lot of videos where it's like their content house, which is Valkyrie. Is it Valkyrie or Valkyrie?
It's Ray.
Okay.
Because her real name's Ray.
Okay. So it's Valkyrie, Courage, Nadeshot, and Brooke. They all four live together, and they'll do a lot of like different challenges and things like that with the four of them. And they're a great group. Like they have a good dynamic where they bounce off each other. Usually they'll split up, like they'll do one guy and one girl. And I love like the dynamic between like Courage and Nadeshot. They always kind of like make fun of each other. And then Brooke tends to make fun of Nadeshot a lot. And like, it's just a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
But
I think they're doing things right. And like it's kind of the dream right now to be part of like 100 Thieves. Like that'd be so cool.
So speaking of unplanned transitions, but by the way, we don't tell each other our topics before this podcast.
Nope.
So I have a 100 Thieves topic.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That's the one I said there was no way.
Well, I didn't have the specific thing you had, but this is based off of 100 Thieves.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, you know I've been a 100 Thieves fan forever, so.
Oh yeah.
So Nadeshot comes from a Call of Duty background. He was a Call of Duty MLG pro, and that's how he kind of got started with gaming. And then he started 100 Thieves later on when he retired from competitive Call of Duty. 100 Thieves in the past had a Call of Duty competitive team, but this past season with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 100 Thieves was not participating in it. And that's because there was a very big franchise fee that was charged by Call of Duty, to be in the league. I don't remember the numbers, but I think it was like 250 or maybe 500 grand to reserve a spot, which is steep. And then I think there might have been some other contracting issues and things like that. But basically, they did not have a team this past season. And there was an LA team, but I believe it was Optic who, and forgive me, those who are very into esports, I'm not super into it, so I might get some of these details wrong. But basically, Optic was a big brand way back when at the start of Call of Duty. I don't know if you ever heard of Optic. No.
Never heard of them.
So they were like, they started out as like a clan. Like you'd be like, oh, that guy's an Optic. Like he's a good. They used to do like sniping and stuff a lot. Optic, I think at one point had Nadeshot as like a person, as like a content creator for them. They were owned by, I think his name's Hector Rodriguez. Optic Hex was his gamer tag. This was years and years and years ago. Basically, he had left. Optic kind of became their own type of brand that kind of went away from what they had been doing in the past. Hector now bought out Optic again. He used to be like the president and CEO of it. Then he went away from him. Now I think he owns them again. Shut down their LA team. And Nadeshot and Hector are friends now. Shut down their LA team. And now 100 Thieves has bought that spot. And they're going to have the LA Thieves. And they're going to be playing in the next season of Call of Duty, which I think will be the new Cold War.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff, if you're into Call of Duty esports, where like this whole thing happened. And like, if you're super into that world, which again, I'm not really that into, but that was like huge news for everyone. And I'm excited to see like an LA Thieves team.
Yeah. So I had seen that Nadeshot had posted a video on the 100 Thieves YouTube channel maybe 2 weeks ago at this point about them actually dropping out of the CSGO.
Yes.
Whole community too, just because of the conflict of where majority of CSGO is housed right now is in Europe.
Yep.
And they just don't have the resources and the funds to kind of split their compound between the two nations.
Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason why they did that. But I also think it was a reallocation of resources to now come and do this. And then also CSGO is kind of dying. Their numbers are not as high as they used to be. A lot more players than was originally thought have now moved to Valorant. And 100 Thieves has a Valorant roster.
Really? Because I feel like Valorant has been very like dry and dull lately. Like it hasn't been talked about much, I feel like.
Not in the esports world. Like there was a competitive Valorant match that 100 Thieves just won actually tonight. Like yeah. So not in the competitive Valorant world, but like it hasn't been as popular in terms of player base, I think. And I think some of that might also just be we kind of lost interest in it personally.
Yeah, true.
So, but yeah, so now 100 Thieves they've got League of Legends, they've got Valorant, they've got Call of Duty. I guess that's it in terms of the esports.
I mean,
but then they've got a bunch of content creators, obviously, which I bet honestly is the most lucrative part of their business right now.
Seriously, because like I feel like they have to get more out of their content creators than their competitive scene. Like they have to.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know how esports in general are doing overall, but I just feel like content creation is like at an all-time high.
I think esports does well, but I think it's kind of different because esports, I think, is more consistent. Like you have a decent feeling of the revenue that you will generate. And if you do better, then you'll get more. But there will kind of always be that floor versus content creation has a much higher ceiling, but also is a little bit more volatile. Like sometimes creators will pop off and it was like a great investment to, take them under your wing as a team. But then there's other times I'm sure where a creator you think is going to kind of go on the rise and maybe something bad happens with them. They get canceled or maybe they just don't get as popular as you thought. and like it's a little bit harder to understand the return on that. But they do have a much higher upside because like YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of money from advertisers, I think, is way more that you would make from sponsors and prize money for competitive gaming.
Yeah. But I just think of a content creator can produce a video a day
Yeah.
if they're good. How many tournaments can you possibly like win or even compete in a week? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's just very different. I mean, because
yeah.
it's more similar to like regular sports. Like a lot of like I know, for example, the Call of Duty team in my area is the Florida Mutineers. They are backed by the Miami Heat and Orlando Magic, which are two basketball teams in South Florida. And they got, I think it was like 50 million that they invested into this team. And it's because they understand kind of the more of the sporting mode space. And there's it's not just prize money. There's sponsors on top of it. There's the viewers of those events. So I think like single events will probably get viewed more than a typical content creator's video. It depends on the content creator, of course. But like the League of Legends championship games are way, way more viewed than like a typical League of Legends content creator's video. So it's a very different space, but I agree with you that content creation overall must have a lot more revenue.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the current people I know. Well, once again, I don't follow the esports scene very closely. So, but I just think of like Courage is killing it.
Yeah.
Valkyrie's killing it.
Yeah.
Like Nadeshot, everything he's doing, he's like killing it. It's like 100 Thieves to me seems so stacked in content creation that like I could see them like just doing that and excelling in that. I don't know if like esports is gonna hold them back, or maybe they have esports team to build reputation of like because their content creators aren't good at gaming. Like they're good at gaming, but they're not like pro level gamers. Right. So it's like them producing pro level gameplay and producing entertaining gameplay. Pro can be entertaining too, but like, you know what I meant.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it's like a separate branch of business. Like they can do both. Like they're a big organization. They can have both. So I think there's some crossover. So for example, like Hiko pulls 15,000 plus concurrent viewers on his streams, and he is not technically part of their content creators. He's part of their Valorant esports team. But I'm sure there's some kind of cut to 100 Thieves off those streams. Like there's going to be some kind of deal in that. So there's both. And then I think, like, I'm just trying to think about it from a business perspective. Not only is the revenue more volatile, I think some larger companies might be more comfortable in sponsoring an esports team where you understand it's like a sport, it's based around a team, and it's not so much around an individual content creator, especially brands that may have been burned in the past with like the YouTube adpocalypse type of thing, where they invested and they thought, oh, we put, some money towards X content creators, then they got into a scandal, then their brand looks bad type of thing. So you're much more investing in like 100 Thieves team and not so much this specific person on 100 Thieves. So, but I totally agree with you. I bet that branch of business is much more lucrative in terms of the individual creators. But I think also probably the individual creators get a lot higher cut of their own personal earnings than like the esports team, in terms of money that goes straight back to the business of 100 Thieves.
True. Yeah. It's interesting to think about. I just
businessy podcast.
yeah, I just hadn't thought this much about it. It's interesting. I love this.
I hadn't really either. Yeah. That'd be fun to do as a job. Just like managing in one of these esports teams.
Stressful.
Yeah. or not I'm sorry, not specifically esports teams. Like, I guess, what would you call 100 Thieves? Like, they're not even just an esports team. They're like
just a fucking brand.
A brand. Yeah. Yeah. One of these gaming,
like gaming
brands.
Brand.
Yeah.
Like being a Nadeshot, like that's what you're imagining right now.
Well, Nadeshot started the company. I mean, just like being a part of one of these brands and just working, I don't know, some kind of management job or just something on like the behind the scenes. Like, obviously it'd be great to make it as a streamer, but I'm saying like chances are that wouldn't happen, but maybe you could get an actual job behind the scenes somewhere still in this industry with one of those places.
That'd be cool. Let's go to LA.
Yeah. 100 Thieves, call us up.
Speaking of content creators being able to fall through on sponsorships or something big happening.
Are you serious?
Why don't we talk about
we have another smooth transition here?
I mean, that was a little bit of a stretch.
Okay,
I'm gonna try to play it off.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. 4 letters. DMCA.
Yes. FUCK DMCA.
Yeah. So these it's been a topic for months now, but I guess it just got a little more real because these emails went out from Twitch saying that there have been DMCA strikes or something on your account. We've removed the appropriate content. Just a heads up that there could be more coming soon and you're responsible, blah 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 blah. Pretty big deal, you think? Or is it a big deal? God bless you.
Thank you.
Is it
at least
a big
I was
deal?
able to mute my mic. I just had like the biggest sneeze of my life. I think it's a huge deal. Yeah, I think. Well, I think first off, creators should have probably known something like this may come. They've said for a very long time you should not be playing copyrighted music, and they said that included in clips or VODs. So I think us as streamers, we kind of knew these rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing really new. It's just more the enforcement of the rules, right? Am I right, or is there something new?
No, there's not necessarily anything new, I don't think. I think there was like a upgrade in the DMCA, like, what's it called? Recognition kind of thing.
So they caught way more. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the companies like Sony, Warner Brothers, all these like big ones that kind of net a lot of the copyright music.
Right.
They've been able to finally like pin down Twitch specifically.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously I think it sucks as a streamer that we can't play any kind of music we want. I think I almost wish they had some kind of deal. I mean, I wouldn't do this because I'm not making any kind of money from this right now. But for the larger streamers, if they had just some kind of deal to pay like a licensing fee or something like that, and then be able to play stuff on Twitch, similar to how like bars and restaurants are able to play whatever music they want. I think that would be a good thing. But I mean, people knew that this was technically the rule. They knew that nothing was safe. It sucks that they started to enforce it. And I think in some ways, a lot of people might get really pissed off at Twitch, especially I think how they enforced it. I don't think they gave a ton of time for you to collect that content before they just wiped it all away, which kind of sucks. But I mean, YouTube might be happy. Maybe it's a little bit easier for people to now go over to YouTube. They feel like their past is erased on Twitch. Twitch doesn't give them a heads up. Maybe more people will jump ship. But I don't know. It's not really anything super new. It's just more the enforcement of the policies that they've had for a long time.
Yeah, so I watched a really interesting Harris Heller video.
Okay.
And Harris Heller is literally the perfect person to talk about this whole situation because his original industry was music. He produced music on YouTube. Him and his wife expanded to Vine, and then now he's a Twitch streamer and he created stream beats.
Yeah, so I was gonna just quickly say to be fair, I think he's a tad biased because this only helps him, right?
Yes, but he wasn't selling stream beats in this video, for one.
Okay.
He was just talking about what is the best solution for DMCA, because he knows the side of the music of like what do the publishing companies want to see that like will make this okay. And their idea of a perfect world is that if Summit is streaming to 50,000 people and he plays a song on Spotify, that song should get 50,001 listens. Because and the artist should get 5,000 or 50,001 cut from whatever Spotify is dishing out at the end of the year or month or whatever. And so like he was saying like, could you link your Spotify to Twitch to keep track of just how much listen time each person listens? And does a viewer count as 1/100th of a listen because it's really only background music? Opposed of like, or if you are playing it as like a DJ and you're literally all your content is focused around the music, does every listener count as a full listener? Like he was trying to think of all these different ways of like what's the best way of figuring all this out so that everybody's happy across the board.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
His ultimately did come down to what you were saying of like a business license for music, even if it's kind of like a pay by program of like you pay Sony, you subscribe to Sony, you get all of Sony's music. You subscribe to X, you get all of X's music. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that can get extremely messy with attributing each viewer. Because like, I mean, you brought up a number of issues already. I'm also thinking like, if people leave partway through a song, do they count as a listen? Do you have to get it? Like how they're going to technically be able to attribute to it if it is like that, like if there's partial listens. And yeah, I just don't think that's how it works for, like, for example, right now, there's not a lot of people going to a football stadium, but in normal years, when there's 50,000 plus, sometimes 80,000 people in a football stadium, they pay a licensing to play songs over their PA system. Do they pay the record industries based on how many butts are in the seats? I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So like I would think you would want to handle it more similarly to that. I mean, I know that would be very limiting of smaller creators because they won't be able to afford, as many things in terms of that. And I get maybe that would make it a little bit more fair for smaller creators to do it based on viewers or whatever. But these large creators, I'm sure they'd pay a decent amount of money to be able to play whatever the music they want. And they are a business at this point. Why can't they have some sort of business licensing that allows them to play it? And it's different too than like a YouTube video where you don't know how many people may listen to it in the future. You know, like you could have a YouTube video that eventually gets 10 million views, but there is a limit when it's live streaming. I guess VODs are similar to that, but yeah, I don't understand. I think it's very greedy of the music industry. But I don't think that's really surprising for how they've been for new technologies throughout many years. And yeah, I want those artists to get money. Like, I understand in the end, like, it's also the artists that don't get the money for it. But I feel like there's a lot of artists who will say, like, I want my content to just be out there and I want them to be able to use it so that I get recognition for it and maybe I'll grow because of that. And they're not even allowed to do it because their label slaps that down.
Right. Yeah. I kind of do want to understand the umbrella of the music industry a little bit more than I do right now in terms of how money actually flows and how maybe like current like streaming music has changed everything, because like I only give Spotify $10 a month. Yeah. I listen to thousands and thousands of songs.
Yeah.
That are worth easily over $10 of music if you're looking at like album sales, physical album sales. So it's like, how the hell
well
do they even like...
The artists get paid based on your listens, not based on your $10 a month.
Right, but how does Spotify pay them?
Because it's only like 1/1000th of a penny when you listen to one song.
Yeah, so but if I had bought their full album, they would have gotten 100% of my $10. Well, given publishing company takes a cut and X takes a cut and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like from me personally, they would get much more money than from any amount of my streams because of just how small of a fraction of money they get from me streaming the song.
Right. But when everything's combined, that's how they end up making the money, right? Like, they probably wouldn't have sold as many album sales as they do now get digital plays. Most of the artists, I think. Like, it really depends.
I don't know. That's why I want to I want to study it further.
Yeah.
See maybe how the impact of technology has affected everything. Because I remember Taylor Swift wasn't streaming on Spotify.
Yeah.
For the longest time because she was like, no, it's not fair. Right. Like they're not giving me a fair cut or whatever. So she must have been losing money to put it on Spotify.
I don't think she was losing money. I think she wasn't making as much money as the other platforms.
Okay. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But to have herself on Spotify, she would have lost money compared to others.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like new technologies, payment models change all the time. I mean, the same things happen for like the TV industry, like through Netflix and things like that. Like viewership now, you pay a subscription to Netflix, they might get renewed in terms of shows based on how many people watched, but it's not like a direct, oh, you get this many X viewers, you get this X amount of Y amount of money. Mm-hmm. I think streaming in general has changed a lot of different industries and their payment models. Not streaming as in live streaming. Streaming as in like watching something directly in time, not like Twitch streaming. Yeah. Uh-huh. But then I kind of understand your point too then. So if it is 1/1000th or whatever it is for a song, if you have 1,000 viewers, then that that could affect, like, they should be getting $1, but they're only getting 1/1000th of a cent.
Yeah.
So I do understand that a little bit, but also your song was put on by the streamer. They picked that song. They didn't have to pick your song. So in some ways they're publicizing you. Like, that helps a little bit, I think. And then also, I do think you're right. There might be a difference between a DJ, where that's all, their main source of entertainment, and just like music in the background, where that's not the focus of the stream.
Yeah. I think the argument was that, like, no one's going to hear a song that's at 10% behind me and be like, I'm going to turn off this stream and I'm going to go to Spotify. I'm going to listen to this song.
Yeah.
Not a single person's going to do that.
Although I did look up the song you played at the end of your stream tonight.
That's true. There are minor exceptions.
Yeah.
But I did have to specifically say, this is a banger, and I turned it up to 70%.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you also said there was a hot girl in the music video.
Well, yeah, that'll do it. But
we're both in relationships, by the way.
Yes. Well, you know, you can look. You just
can look. That's true.
So back to Harris Heller for a second.
Yeah.
He put on his what are they called? The
tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat, and he said maybe this is a conspiracy because Soundtrack, Twitch's brand new DMCA free music service, dropped like hours before this email came out.
Oh, I'm sure it had something to do with that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So he's like, did they just push this so that people would actually utilize their Soundtrack service?
100%.
Does that mean there's as big of a threat?
What do you mean?
From DMCA. Because DMCA isn't controlled by Twitch at all. So it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. Because then it's like, what are the record labels going to get mad at Twitch for not doing this all along if they had this ability? Like, yeah, I don't know. I got invited to that beta, by the way. Did you as well?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, Stream Beats is good for me.
Exactly.
And I've heard, I think Laser Wing was telling me like they were meh, like soundtracks.
Oh, really?
Twitch soundtracks or whatever was meh.
Yeah, that's the only thing is like Stream Beats Harris Heller, like it's good. And he is putting out as many songs as possible as fast as he can. But like, there's really only one playlist I really like, and now just all the songs are the same. And I don't think viewers notice as much probably, but I sure damn notice it. Like it's getting repetitive. I just wish I could play the music I want to play.
Yeah. So I've started reaching out to more indie artists that like I really like, and I noticed that like I delve into like their publishing company to see if they have any history of DMCA or who the publishing company even is, and then I end up reaching out to the artists individually through like Twitter DMs or Instagram DMs just to kind of like check with them. Because like you said, a lot of artists don't mind their stuff being played in the background of stream. But if they do have that publishing company to slap the hand, then sadly they can't.
Yeah. So
like as of now, I've had 2 artists say you are good to play my music on Twitch.
Yeah, and I think that's great that you're doing that, and it's great that they're responding and things like that, but that's a lot of hoops to go through, like for people in general to be able to do that, you know? So that's not like the optimal answer.
No, definitely not. Yeah. But if there's a small artist that you really like, their music, reach out to them.
Yeah.
Like it really was easy to just DM them on Twitter. Like I did both mine through Twitter. They responded
I
within
can't believe
24
they
hours.
responded so quickly. It must be like a team, I would think.
No. These are the people.
Well, it's that person's Twitter page.
Well, so it wasn't. It wasn't the band's Twitter page.
No, I understand, but I'm saying like even a person, if they're like verified on Twitter, a lot of those people will have like a publishing team behind them that look at their tweets and respond to tweets and stuff.
I don't think these do.
Okay,
honestly.
yeah, no, that's very possible, but I'm also saying like it could be.
One of them is under 20K followers. Not
huge. Then probably not.
Like small.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
Probably
verified.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're verified and they're under 20K followers?
Yeah. Because they're part of the bigger thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I know people who have close to 1 million followers that are not verified. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard of this? Is completely. You have anything else on this subject?
DMCA. No.
Okay, so this just reminded me of someone. Oh. All right. So first off, I was going to ask you: have you heard of Corpse Husband?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean.
Yeah. So first off, he also makes music, and he got really big because of TikTok, I think.
Wait, I heard the banger of his song. I heard his most recent song.
It's very the one I'm thinking of is very sexual.
Yeah.
With that voice too, I'm questioning myself a little bit, to be honest. No, so I was going to talk about I think he's not verified and he's got close to 1 million followers.
Oh.
But that made me think of he plays Among Us a lot. Last week, a very cool thing that happened was that 2 congresswomen, AOC and Ilhan. What's her last name? Ilhan. I can't pronounce it.
I don't remember her last name.
Ilhan played Among Us on Twitch with like 8 to 10, I don't know, huge Twitch streamers. And it was like a get out the vote effort. And it was super cool. I didn't catch it live, but I caught a lot of the after cut up stuff. And it was really interesting to see them play. I think they hadn't played the game before. And there was one round where they were both imposters, which I thought was hilarious. But just really cool to see politicians like actually understanding popular things and like wanting to do this with people that are not 70 years old. And I just thought it was a really cool thing. Did you catch any of it?
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Live.
Okay.
And this was like in the middle of my peak study time too. So like I sacrificed study time to watch this whole experience because like I couldn't miss it. And like I was only going to watch the first like 10 minutes or whatever just to see like how AOC was on her first stream or whatever. I couldn't stop watching. It was so entertaining. I was like live commenting it in my Discord and everybody was watching it in the Discord, and so we were all like, gosh, this is like stupidly entertaining and stuff. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think so the whole like 2 days leading up, because what happened was she tweeted about like, hey, I want to play this Among Us game on Twitch or whatever, or with some of these Twitch people or whatever. And instantly like Pokey, Courage, Myth, like all of them respond to her and be like, we got you. Next invite's yours or whatever. She had a team get her a streaming PC, a microphone, a camera, overlays within like 24 hours.
Oh yeah, it'd be easy at that. Yeah.
And she had Twitch account created, verified without ever streaming.
Oh, I'm sure Twitch loved this. I'm sure Twitch was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
And and then she was streaming within like 48 hours of the initial tweet.
That's so cool.
And her peak viewership was 425,000
It
people.
was that high? I didn't realize it was that high.
And it
Woo!
was the third largest peak event in Twitch's history. I'm pretty sure.
Really? Because I know like Shroud coming back was higher than that.
I think it was based off of everybody in the group that was streaming it too. Because Pokey had 70,000.
Like I see what you're saying.
Was
so
streaming it
combining
at the
all of
time.
them. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. It was insane.
That's so
they
cool.
were like, it was up there with Drake and Ninja. Kind of like crazy thing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they do more.
I hope she comes back. I hope, yeah.
Because I think they also had, I think I saw over 100,000 people registered to vote that night.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I think it was something like that. I could be wrong. I'll fact check that.
Okay. Because that's impressive.
Yeah.
And they could track from the specific link they put in.
Let's see.
Like, were these just any random people that happened to register that day too?
Yeah, so it was more than 1.5 million total views when they combined them all. And then let's see. Sorry. It's going to take me longer to verify this. I can't find like a very quick thing. But anyways, I know a lot of people registered to vote because of it.
You're saying it worked, basically.
It definitely worked. Like, yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So, and I think no matter your political leanings, like, I think seeing more of this would be good from any number of leaders. I think it's a little bit disappointing that the two nominees for president of the United States are both older than the previous president that we had, Barack Obama, and then even the president we had before that, Bill Clinton. Like they're both really up there, and it's like, yes, that comes with wisdom and things like that, but also I don't think they understand perspectives of much younger people when they're that far removed. So it'd be nice to have kind of a more middle ground person, or at least people that understand our perspectives and what we like and don't like and our needs. It'd be good for them to get more into power, and doing things like this, I think, open their views up. I think also, like, not only could we learn from AOC's stream, I think AOC also learned from us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we should have like, well, unless they're phenomenal, but I don't think we need a 35-year-old president, like the minimum the minimum age.
Yeah.
But like I think somewhere middle ground, like 50-ish, like gives you that spectrum of like my parents were, let's see, my parents had me when they were 40. So I was still like, I was getting into my teens in their 50s. So like they kind of still like understand, like some of them might have children in like that age range, that like whatever policies they're doing or they're going to implement could impact them.
Yeah.
As well as kind of enough experience to know that like they're getting older and there's going to have to be policies that are going to impact them in the next 15 years.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think it gets a lot easier to, and of course this is just depending on the candidate as well. I think Joe Biden is a big believer in things like climate change, but I think it gets a lot easier to be short-sighted about things and maybe only care about the next 4 to 8 years, because that's what your term is going to be, versus we'll hopefully be alive for, 70 years. you know, that's if we're lucky, but like I'd like to know that somebody's looking out not just for the near term for the US, but for generations to come.
Yep. Could not agree more.
So yeah, go vote. If you haven't already. Have you voted yet?
Yeah, I voted. I voted a week ago.
Nice. How'd you do it?
We had early voting in person here.
Okay.
So it was a mile and a half down the street at like an old bank. Went in, got it done. Waited in line 10 minutes. Once we were inside, 5.
How'd it feel like COVID wise?
I thought they did it perfectly. So the way they did it was they actually gave us a pen that had the little touchpad on it, so we never touched anything but our pen.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we signed with our own individual, just unwrapped pin with like press thing. I thought it was super easy.
And like, were there a bunch of people around you, or like they
No,
spaced it out good?
yeah, super spaced out. It was perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed how we did it. So we requested a mail-in ballot, but then it probably would have been fine, but I was a little bit iffy on mailing it back. So what we did is we went to a drop box, and basically like our voter office, like the main office, it's like less than 10 minutes from our house. You just drive up and like you just put down your window and you just drop it in the slot. And then our county has like a tracking system. So I can see that like 2 or 3 days later, they had the vote in and it was counted.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So we didn't have to wait in any lines. We could even look up like, you know, there's certain amendments and things like that that also go along with the election. It's not just the presidential election. So like I had time at home to research some of that stuff. And it was nice. And I really liked that they had the confirmation of the ballot. That made me feel a lot better about doing it that way.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, because the location I was at, they had you could drop it off at that location, but it wasn't a secure drop box. You handed it to one of the employees or volunteers working it, but still, like you solidify that it at least got into the hands of the right people,
right.
instead of like those fake drop boxes that were popping up in California.
Yeah, that was a
and
thing. Yeah.
some crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know why, but I don't trust the USPS. Like I'll trust them with a birthday letter to my grandma with $50 in it, but I won't trust them with my right to vote.
Yeah, chances are it would have been fine. And again, I did have that tracking, so I could have like, well, so what happened was I originally requested the mail-in ballot. It had my right home address, but it got sent to my U box in Florida State. You remember how we had you remember how we had the student U boxes?
Yeah.
So the first time I ever voted was absentee because I was at Florida State. So in 2008. No, 2012. 2012. Yeah. That's how I voted, was absentee, and it got sent to my U box. And I guess somehow they were like, oh, well, this says it's home address, but this is the one we had that we sent a ballot to, so let's send it to that one. So I was like, I can't get that. And they're like, okay, so we're going to void it. And basically they all have barcodes and serial numbers that correspond to them. So basically that one, even if somebody else picked it up, would no longer be counted. And you can actually see on that same tracking system that I told you about, it has like a big X on it. It says like, you know, no longer valid. And then so I had to call them and then tell them, no, send it to my actual house. And then I got it. And then it was all smooth.
Very cool.
So, yeah. So Broward County in Florida did a good job.
Yeah. Make sure to check wherever you are that many states are register and vote same day. So like there should be no real excuse that like, oh, I missed a registration deadline or whatnot. I know North Carolina is register and vote same day. So Get
Go
out
vote.
there.
It's
Do
important.
your yeah. It's your right. It's your right. Use it.
It's
All
really
right.
sad how few people vote, actually.
I'm disgusted at how few people vote.
Yeah.
It was like 64% of the voting population didn't vote in 2016.
And that's for president. Can you imagine like the midterm elections and things like that?
It makes me so mad. Just because, so I watched, I don't, Deirdre and I are obsessed with this show that comes out on Netflix called Explained. I don't know if you've seen this.
I feel like I've seen like, do they talk about all different kinds of topics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always have like a celebrity narrator, and they're so well done. They did a whole one on elections, and it just infuriated
Oh
me
no.
with all the facts that they were like spitting out, because like the amount of people, like the increase in the amount of people that could vote within the last like 80 years, and then the percentage of people that haven't voted is like disgusting, because like so many people have devoted their whole lives to getting X amount of people the right to vote, or like, like African Americans the right to vote, females the right to vote. And then like to see it all, like not all go to waste, but like a large percentage of their efforts like go to waste.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel um, that their individual vote doesn't have much power. And I think especially, it's funny, those who did not have the right to vote, they're usually minorities. And I think they especially feel like even if they all show up, like if the majority of people don't want it that way, it doesn't really matter. So they kind of become disenfranchised from that. But I think president's one thing, but I think every little vote does matter, especially like when you're talking about county elections or even like who's representing your state. It does come back to matter eventually, even if it's not in that particular election. It does. I mean, like, and even if it's not that specific election you vote for, but for example, like if you're more of a progressive leaning person and you wanted to get Bernie Sanders elected in 2016, right, when he was in the primary with Clinton, you may have voted for him and then been like, well, he didn't get elected in the primary. It doesn't, my vote doesn't really matter anymore. He comes back again in 2020. Same thing. You might have voted for him in the primary. Oh, it sucks. Progressive platform's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. But now the policies that Biden, who's on the same Democratic ticket, is running on, a lot of them have been swayed more towards the progressive side because of how many votes went to Bernie Sanders. And he knows he will not get those votes unless, people think he is going to implement some progressive policies. So even though your specific person may not get elected, all those things that you're voting for and the ideals that you're voting for will eventually wrap up if there's enough people that come out and vote for him. So
Well
I don't
said.
know. I'll get off my I'll get off my voter soapbox now. Just do it.
No, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
And like don't just go in there and bubble in the president section either. Like
Right.
do your research on your local people, because honestly those are the people that are gonna you're gonna see the most impact from, because they're gonna affect your day-to-days, because they're gonna hit you quicker with policies, and that's where you're gonna see all the change. So do an extra 30 minutes, hour of research on the rest of the ballot. Like fill it all
Yeah,
in.
we only had like I think 4 amendments with this last one. It wasn't a lot. Yeah.
We had 3.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like 12.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But
But yeah, anyways, talking about the future. the future of America, the future of the world.
Doesn't look
Let's
great.
let's jump to the year 2077 for instance.
Oh no.
You know that was good. You know that
Yeah,
trans
it was a great transition, but it makes me so sad what we're going to talk about.
I know. It's a shorter delay than they could have done. But of course we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077. They have announced just today that they're going to have to extend 21 more days to December 10th as their release date. So first of all, I want to clear up a couple podcasts ago. I said I wasn't excited about Cyberpunk 2077, and I will inform you that I am getting more excited as it approaches.
Ooh.
So yes, I've done a little more digging. I watched the I love the gamer tech game. It's that YouTube channel that does the before you buys and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. They made a top 10 things you need to know about Cyberpunk, and I watched it today and I got kind of excited. So
What a bad day to get excited about it on.
I know.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it too. It just seems like maybe it will never come out though, because they've just delayed it so many times. It already went gold.
Time.
Fourth, I think.
Is it the fourth?
Maybe it's the third, but also like they announced it when I was in high school. I'm a grown ass man now. Like yeah. So
but at least now they're only pushing it like 3 weeks instead of years.
Yeah. I know. It's disappointing, but hey, I just hope it's good. It's got so much hype behind it now though. I feel like it's going to be very hard to live up to it. But if it's like even 80% of what people think it's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the best games of the past few years. So I'm very excited for it. We'll see.
Do you think their reasoning behind it was justifiable? Like, did you read their little statement?
Yeah, they said it was mostly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said it's coming out on 9 different platforms, so there's a lot of testing around that, and then also everybody's working from home, so it's a little bit harder to get everything. Is that basically what they said?
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that they actually they kind of put an FAQ kind of section. It was hidden in that it didn't say specifically FAQ, but it was like a lot of people are going to say like, what the heck is 21 days going to do for a game this big? Like, what could you possibly get done in 21 days? That like it seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so glad that they kind of cleared it up of that. Like every little day counts in the phase that we're in, because the game is done.
Right. It's all for the
optimization of.
It's like for the day 0 patch, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure it's sitting pretty on, I don't know, half the platforms it's going to come out on, or they're adjusting things for first gen consoles, because now like I think the next gen consoles are getting delayed a little bit here and there too. So I'm thinking that they're kind of adjusting for that too.
I've seen people flexing with the PS5.
Yeah, I saw MKBHD yesterday, I think.
Yeah. Somebody put out a tweet like the biggest business meeting flex is to now have a PS5 in the background of your Zoom meeting.
That's good.
Yeah. So I have some personal news, which is I'm not getting a 3080.
Why?
I spent the money on something else.
I'm sorry. Wait. Can you explain? Can you reveal or no? Is it?
Oh yeah.
That intimate?
No, it's not. Intimate.
Like a big. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I bought a huge toy that was $600. No, so I was telling you a little bit. Basically, my job is changing up a little bit here, and I'm gonna have to be a lot more focused. And my home office area is like okay, but it's not great in terms of like really getting a lot of work done and not exactly how I want things to be. So I got a Updesk. Have you heard of Updesk?
The one that raises up and down.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And it's like it's a huge one. It's 72 inches wide, and then it's
Wow.
30 inches in depth. And I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be really cool. I'll have like the PC on the desk, and it'll be displayed cool and that kind of stuff. But it's kind of pricey. So for now, I won't be upgrading my GPU.
All right. Yeah.
So
Christmas is right around the corner. So if you ask for like gift cards or money or
that's
something.
not a bad point. That's true.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but I am
So
very
wait.
excited about this desk, which is a dumb thing to be excited for.
So welcome to adulthood.
Yeah, exactly.
Things you have to look forward to, kids.
Yeah.
So are you less excited about Cyberpunk now? Or do you think
No, I'm still very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your PC can't run it at the highest of high, like you're good.
It'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I've never like I'm not the like graphics have to be the best of the best type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more about it running smoothly, and I'm thinking it on lower settings it should be okay. But yeah, I mean, with it being delayed into December now, you're right. Maybe I could. I mean, the 3080s aren't even available right now, anyways. Like I couldn't get one if I wanted to. So
Yep.
it'll be fine.
Yep.
So
I have 3 times in my day that I refresh Best Buy.
So
Best
do
Buy
you
website.
refresh the 3080 or the 3090?
I refresh both.
Oh.
I do the 3080 first and then the 3090.
Okay.
But whichever one pops up first, I think I'm just gonna fucking get.
Snipe it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best Buy did release a good batch of them actually a week ago.
Really?
And the way they did it was the add to cart button popped up. And if you click it, it says, due to high demand, we weren't able to add this to your cart. Wait 30 seconds and we'll refresh. So like it was like every time they got like they put like a new inventory in, it would kind of refresh. So it was exciting. It was like a game.
I was hoping the notify button would kind of be some kind of place in line, but they haven't sent me any emails at all about it.
Oh, they didn't send you about the event that happened a week ago.
I don't think so. Did they send you?
I got a text from my cousin. I don't know how he found out, but
yeah, because I had put it on notify a long time ago. Let me look up if I. It's very possible I got an email from them because they send so many. No, it doesn't look like they said anything. No.
Well, dropping the ball again, Best Buy.
Yeah.
Dropping the ball again.
I screwed up with buying my wife's iPhone.
I'm sorry, what? What'd you do?
It's not worth saying on the podcast. Basically, there's like an iPhone upgrade program that we're a part of.
Yeah.
And I didn't fill that out correctly. And basically, I created a new loan for her instead of rolling it over. So then the phone that came now, we have to return to the Apple store, and then we have to start a new order. And the phones are like back a few weeks. So I was like, why don't you just get the better one that's coming out on November 6th? And she's like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm debating on doing the upgrade. I don't know.
I might just like pay out my my loan for it and just ride with this one.
See, that's what I did. I paid off my phone a year ago.
Mm.
So like I'm 3 generations back. I'm on the iPhone X still. So like the first ever Face ID one that they ever came out with,
Yeah.
which seems like ancient. But like I feel like the changes aren't that big.
They're really not. The
Yeah.
MagSafe stuff is kind of cool with this one, but I also saw
Yeah.
it's like not that powerful. Like I was really excited
Yeah.
about the wallet portion, and it looked like that could fall out of your pocket really easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
All right, well, I feel like the podcast has gotten a little bit aimless.
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Well,
You're
first
reeling
of
it
all,
back in now.
what time are we at? What time are we at?
120.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, wow, what a weird way to say perfect, huh?
I like it.
There's this game that's going around. You know, there have been games coming and going. 2020. You know, we got Fall Guys. Fall Guys was huge.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah. We got what's the big one? Among Us. Yeah, pretty big, pretty big deal. Now, what's catching on for the spooky season? It's called Phasmophobia.
Ooh.
You heard of it?
I have heard of it. Have not played it.
Oh man, it is fun. It gets like I get chills. I get really cold. I don't really know why, but like I can feel comfortable.
You're always cold playing video games. It has nothing to do with the scary elements of it.
So this one I get really cold. like usually I get cold, but this is like cold where like I'm shaking. Like that's how cold I am. And it's not fear shaking. It's literally like I'm just freezing.
Okay.
So I have to layer up to play this game for one.
Okay.
And it doesn't help that like you're scanning the rooms. Okay, so first of all,
Yeah,
it's a ghost.
I know
hunting simulator.
nothing about this. Yeah.
It's a ghost hunting simulator. Little backstory on me. Loved ghost hunters, loved ghost adventures. I'm a sucker for ghosts.
Do you have any ghost experiences? We don't have to talk about them right now, but
I do have one.
okay. I'd love to hear that after we talk about Phasmophobia.
Ooh, I kind of just want to dive into it now.
Okay.
No. We can talk about Phasmophobia. So, a huge fan of ghost hunters. I'm now going back to rewatch all of them starting in like 2004 or whatever because it just sparked this thing inside me again. But basically you're looking for like existence of a ghost within these different like locations. Some are small houses, like little condos, some are big mountain cabin, log cabin things, and some are like schools and asylums, like huge.
And is it like one big open world, or there's like sessions and you play a particular map, or how does that go?
They're instanced. So like they're smaller maps that you select where you're going, and then you kind of like go there in your van and whatnot. And so basically there's all these different types of ghosts, and your main goal is to figure out what type of ghost you're dealing with in that specific location.
And I know this is multiplayer. Does somebody play as the ghosts?
As of right now, no, but they have announced that they have future updates looking into PvP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's cooperative right now.
Yeah, it's 4-person co-op right now, up to 4 people. You can play with yourself. You can play with 2, 3, or 4.
Okay.
You can play with yourself. I mean,
that's $600 toy.
But
yes.
All right. Well,
right, go ahead.
So what was I even saying?
4 people.
Yeah, up to 4 people. It's much easier with 4 people because if you play with just yourself and you die, then you're done because the ghost can kill you and it haunts and things. So, but basically like you're looking for, there's like 5 or 6 indicators of like, oh, freezing temperatures is an indicator of this specific type of ghost or whatnot. So you're basically trying to go through this checklist of like this is the 3 types of evidence we have, so it has to be this type of ghost. It's just so fun because one, you're interacting with like there's no, there might be random matchmaking, but I wouldn't do that. I would just play with friends. So like there's 4 people having a fun experience together. You're all talking. You use the in-game chat because it's directional, and you use walkie-talkies.
Oh, that's kind of
And
cool.
the best part is the ghost is AI. So you actually ask it questions and it responds accordingly. It knows its name. If you say its name, it angers it and makes it more active.
How do you get to know its name?
So you get a little like sheet in your truck when you pull up, and it's like they're literally the whitest names ever. It's like John Walker. And like literally like the easiest names to pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you get a little snippet of like, this is their name. They only like interacting with people alone, or like they only interact with people in groups and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, and then yeah. And as you progress through the game, you get money so that you can buy more and better equipment to find the ghosts faster and stuff like that. It's so fun.
So if you play the same map, is it different each time?
Yes.
So it's like different ghosts, different locations for them, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like maybe, like, is it replayable that much? Like, it seems like, yes, it is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Because all the ghosts interact differently. It's very like when you walk in, it's hard to describe, but when you walk into a house, you just get this like ambiance noise that instantly makes it creepy. And like, so the replayability is that you're always on edge when you're in the house.
Mm.
And so like there's never a dull moment. It could pop out at any time, but it's not jump scary. It
Okay.
yeah, like you can tell when the ghost is gonna attack you.
Okay.
Like it's not like scary, but it's scary. Yeah,
It's creepy.
I don't know. Yes,
Yeah.
and it supports VR.
Oh, that would be
So
creepy.
yeah. But yeah, I've been playing a good bit with friends. I think it's really fun. Yeah, I think everyone should give it a try if their soul enables them to venture out into
Yeah.
creepy places and hunt for ghosts.
Yeah. I have this like weird thing. I've never played a game like it, so it might be different, but with movies, I'm not into like supernatural or like horror or any of those kinds of movies really. It like, you know how you said there's certain things that like if a movie's shot the wrong way or something like that, it takes you out of the immersion of it.
Yeah.
I think it's like ghosts and stuff like that are so unbelievable for me that we'll talk about your ghost story in a second.
Okay.
That I get like I'm not as immersed in those types of movies. So like, I don't know, for example, a big one when we were like high school age was like Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a huge movie that people were obsessed with. And I just thought that was like the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Like I had no interest at all in it. I didn't find it scary at all. I just thought like, this is literally like the worst movie I've seen. So I don't know if I'd have that same thing with games. I think maybe not so much because it's like playable and you feel like you're more in the environment. And it sounds like they do a lot of cool stuff with making you feel like you're really exploring it. It's just the subject matter is not quite as interesting to me because of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they have the ghost come up behind you and whisper in your ear, and it literally feels like it breathed down your neck.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That would be kind of creepy. Yeah. I guess like, but I really like thrillers. Like I really like let me like what was the silent movie with John Krasinski and his wife? The Quiet Place.
I don't know.
All right, there was like a kind of creepy but thriller type, or like Disturbia when we were kids that had come out
Yes.
around. I feel like the same time as Paranormal Activity. I really like Disturbia because that to me was more believable of a situation because there wasn't something supernatural. But I don't know. It doesn't really make sense because I also like superhero movies, which are obviously supernatural. It's
True.
just more when it's like creepy stuff that's supernatural. I'm not as into. Like murderers and things like that, I find scary. But ghosts and like vampires and like those types, like Halloweeny things, I'm not as kind of into for some reason.
Ghosts live year round.
All right, so let's get to your ghost story. What's your ghost story?
All right.
Can I try to tear this apart?
You can damn well try.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have I'll say I'll question it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, in my house in Connecticut.
So how old were you at this point?
I was, geez, already hitting with the questions.
No, I just want to get the setting.
I was freshman year of high school. So I'd be like 13, 14.
Yeah.
The way that our kind of like top floor was laid out was there was my bedroom. Down the hall, there was a bathroom that was my bathroom because I didn't have an attached bathroom. And then right next to the bathroom was our like guest room.
Okay.
And so in the middle of the night one night, it wasn't too late. It was like midnight-ish. I had woken up and I had to go to the bathroom. So I walked down the hallway, and out of the corner of my eye as I turn into the bathroom to my left, there was this woman figure like standing in this doorway that was partially cracked open
to the guest bedroom. Okay.
To the guest bedroom. Yeah, not my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I went into the bathroom and then it registered of like what I saw. I'm literally getting goosebumps as I'm telling you this story, and like the hair on the back of my head is standing all up because like I see her right now. Anyways, so like it registered as soon as I stepped in the bathroom that like something I saw was not normal from what I'm used to seeing like in that room. So like I don't close the door behind me. I literally take a step back. And once again, I look to my left and I see the figure. Okay. I see this woman figure.
You clearly believe this, like, since it's still bothering you to this day.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm shaking right now.
Yeah.
This woman figure. So like the door opens up this way and she literally like, not quickly, but she just like slid behind the door. So the door's cracked. There's a slight little area.
So did you say the door opened more, or you're saying
No.
it was a little bit open? Okay.
It was ajar when I walked up, and that's when I saw her standing there.
Yeah.
And then as I walked back out, she was standing in the same position I saw her in, and she just slowly moved behind the door. It wasn't a quick like, oh my God, I've just been noticed. This was like a very, very like not intentionally slow and not overly slow either. Like it was just a very natural, like kind of like shift behind the door.
And then what?
I yelled. Are you kidding me?
Right. But did you go into the room?
Oh, absolutely not. No. And so in that same hallway, my parents' bedroom is like right next to mine. So I yelled, my mom woke up, and like I told her exactly what I saw. She went in the room. I'm not going in that fucking room. Not right now. Not this time. And she said she saw nothing, but I know for a fact that I saw this like woman figure in this doorway. And the fact that I saw it twice and then it moved, it still like it shivers my bones to this day.
Was this a woman that you recognized?
No, no.
What could you place like an age?
She was older. She had like from the figure I saw, it looked like she had like white hair.
Okay.
And like it did seem like it was in a ponytail, like a straight back ponytail, because it looked like slicked. But with like what are these called? Eagle's peaks or whatever. What are they called? Widow's peaks, whatever. So like don't take away from my ghost story.
Okay.
But yeah, it looked like she had super slicked back hair in a ponytail and had widow's peaks.
And then nothing weird ever happened in that room again.
Nothing weird ever happened in that room again, except for the night that I convinced my friends to come over and we do a Ouija board in that very bedroom.
Okay.
Which is like a huge no-no. And I did a ton of research before doing this. And I wanted to watch other people do it and what scenarios it was safe to do so and not safe to do so.
Okay. And then what?
So to this day, I don't know if my friend was moving the fucking Planko.
Of course he was.
What? I don't think she was.
Of course she was.
I don't know. Because I had not told her this story, okay?
Okay.
I hadn't told her this story. The name came up as Abigail. Which, like, now that I think about it, that doesn't seem like a fitting name for an older person that would be. Abigail doesn't seem like an oldish name.
Oh, I think it does.
Oh, it does?
I feel like it does, yeah.
Oh.
Who do you know that's named Abigail? That's our age.
I know one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I mean, she goes by Abby, but her real name is Abigail.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. And there's zero possibility in your mind that you were just like hallucinating because you had just woken up and.
I really don't think I was.
Okay.
I would like to look into the history of this house to maybe see if it's
so you believe in ghosts
or 100%. 100%. Yeah. Okay. If not ghosts, at least spirits.
Okay. Yeah.
But you don't believe in even spirits?
No. I've had a couple of instances, but they were very explainable. Should I go into those?
Go into one of them that you think is the least
they're
explainable.
Quick. They're quick.
Okay.
But
okay,
there's backstory to at least one of them.
Okay.
So this is a very real thing that happened to me. When I was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years old. My parents got divorced when I was 2, and I primarily lived with my mom most of the nights. And we lived in a 2-story house that had a burglar alarm system. And like I said, I was like 5 or 6, young enough that like this really never seemed like it was a possibility to me, but old enough to understand kind of what was happening. And basically one night I woke up and I was in my closet to my bedroom, and my mom was like holding me in the closet, and our burglar alarm system was going off. So this is a real story that happened. This is not like I was hallucinating. So I woke up, burglar alarm's going off. My mom has like a phone. She had locked the door to my room. She is calling the police, and actually my grandparents who lived kind of down the street. And obviously we're very afraid that somebody had broken into our house. So turns out after some investigation, what had happened was a bird had dove into our window and shattered the window at like 1 a.m. So that's what sent the burglar alarm off. So we were totally safe. Obviously, everything was fine. But being like a 5 or 6 year old kid, that was a bit traumatizing.
Right.
Because it was like not something I had really ever thought of before, that somebody could come in to our house and like obviously kill us. Right. Like, and like, so when I was growing up, I had a lot of issues at night. Like I would, and this obviously stopped once I was a certain age and I realized the chances of that actually happening are very low and all that kind of stuff. But for years, I like would wake my mom up in the middle of the night and tell her I was like terrified. I would have a ton of trouble sleeping because I would like for hours, I would lay awake, and any like little sound that the house made or anything outside, I was like, oh, somebody's coming in type of thing. And I definitely was more scared when I was at my mom's. For some reason at my dad's, I felt like maybe he could protect me a little bit more. Also, the event didn't happen at my dad's, so maybe that helped a little. We also had a dog at my dad's. So whatever. Basically, I was always terrified at night. So one night when I was a kid, I was like maybe 11, something like that. So older now, but still a little bit freaked out about nighttime. It was maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. I had woken up and I was at my dad's house, which did not have a burglar alarm system. And I thought that I heard somebody coming in like the back door that we had in the house. I had woken my parents up so many times being scared that they were very upset with me at any time I did this, basically. So it was very much like a no-no for me to go wake my dad up. So I decided, why don't I go investigate myself? So I went like, it was just like a little hallway, not a very big house that my dad was living in. And then like past the kitchen and into like the laundry room, which is where this door is that I thought somebody had come in. It was fine. Door was locked. No one was around there. I come back to go into my room, and my room had a bed. It had like this armoire, which was like my dad's desk, where he had a computer, and that could close. Like it had doors that could close so that you could hide like the computer and keyboard and stuff. The doors were closed when I left. And as I was approaching the room, I heard typing on the keyboard that was in the room, that like in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And it was clear, like it was very fast typing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was like, holy shit, I thought it was a ghost or something. Because I walked into the room. I was like about to yell at, if it was a person, basically. But the thing is shut still. The doors of the armoire are shut. But there's somebody typing. Like the keyboard is making sounds like typing is happening at 2 a.m. So I was like, this is a ghost experience for sure. Like this happens for maybe 10 seconds at the most. Like it was very quick. Like I went into the room. I was like, what the hell's happening? The doors are closed. And then door pops open and the cat that they had at the house walks out of the armoire.
So it had to have been in there for so long.
I have no idea. I don't know if it like fell asleep. Like cats love to sleep in weird places. Like maybe it liked the heat from the computer after it was shut off, like
Yeah.
something like that. But like this was after I thought somebody was breaking into the house. Then I come back into the room and it was definitely the keyboard. So, like something was happening with the keyboard. And then this fucking cat just like walks away and then walks past me out of the room, and I was like, "You." So that was like one I thought ghost experience. The next one is very quick. The next one I was driving. I was driving home. This was not that long ago because this was Avengers Endgame was the movie we had gone to see. This is maybe like a year or two ago. I was driving home. I was stopped at like a railroad crossing, and like in my peripheral vision, I saw a person riding a bike and like riding a bike into our car, basically. And I like turned, saw what I thought was a person, went, like jumped back because he was like hitting my door. And then Christina's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Because there's nothing there. And I just chalked that up to like, I just been in a dark theater for a few hours. I saw a movie that I was excited about. And like, I just like hallucinated that basically.
You're lying.
What do you
Why
mean?
are you lying to yourself?
Because that didn't happen. Because nothing happened. It wasn't real. It was just a hallucination.
No shit, nothing's gonna happen if a ghost runs into your car.
So like, I definitely believe people hallucinate, and I believe that I've hallucinated before, but that doesn't make the thing real. So like, I believe in hallucinations. I believe you may have thought you saw that, but I don't think there really was that figure or that person riding the bike as a spirit. I think it was just a hallucination. It was just in my brain.
No. We can agree to disagree and leave it at that. But
so, and I'm very glad that I never had any other ghost experiences, because that would have fucked me up for my entire life with sleeping, I think, because I really had a bunch of problems with sleeping because of, it's a dumb incident. Like it's a bird that hit our window. But for some reason, like I was just at such an age where I was very impressionable upon that. And, yeah, I spent many sleepless nights just like basically thinking I was about to die, which is not a fun thing to do as a kid.
Jeez. So would you ever do a Ouija board alone?
Yeah, I don't believe in Ouija boards at all. I would go into I've gone into graveyards. Like I would go into an abandoned house. Like as long as I didn't think there were real people that could get to me. Like none of the like spirit stuff bothers me at all.
It doesn't even spook you.
Not really. Like it would have to be like the dark is a little bit spooky, like when there's unknowns, right? So if it's like a abandoned mansion and it's dark as hell in there, like I would be scared of maybe real stuff getting to me, but not like a ghost.
All right. So how freaked out would you be if you did a Ouija board alone and it moved? Would you instantly
don't think
be a
that would
believer?
happen?
Or would you? I understand you think it would.
Because isn't it that you move it?
No.
How does it work?
You summon the spirit, okay? You summon the spirit, you welcome it, and then what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to take the tip of it,
Yeah,
and it's supposed to guide it around the board.
So nobody's hands are on it.
No. Your hands are on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it were just your hands,
yeah,
and that Planko moved,
I would think there'd
to
be some
a
kind of like
number, a
magnetism or something.
letter. Oh my gosh, you're unbelievable. It's made by Hasbro. Yeah, you hear a fucking ghost? Yeah, they're coming for you.
No, it's raining really hard outside.
Oh.
But that did scare me a little bit because of our conversations. Um,
It's a fucking board made by Hasbro. There's no
I guess
magnets.
if I really thought it wasn't me that was moving it and that happened, sure, that would cause a little bit of confusion.
All right. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it.
When you're here in December, let's do a Ouija board.
Deirdre will not sleep in any place that has a Ouija board.
In the whole
my
house?
Ouija board's at my mom's. Yes.
What, could we do it in our car?
I don't know.
I
don't know if I want
You're
to.
saying it's not even the activation of the Ouija board. If I just have one.
No. If it's there, yeah. It actively welcomes.
That's so
things.
silly. Really?
Yeah, that's what we believe in this household.
So a Hasbro toy, you will not sleep in the same house as.
I will. I will.
Okay.
I did as
you're just
growing
one
up.
with the spirits.
No. Not that's not why.
So I have a shed, like a little she shed in the backyard. Could we do it there?
I don't want to. That's
Why?
the thing. Like
I could decorate it all spooky and everything.
No.
That would be fun.
I don't want to do it.
Let's do that and record it.
I don't want to do it.
But think of our Discord.
No.
People would love that. Let's do it.
No.
All right, listen, John, I know you're probably listening. Our loyal podcast listeners or viewers, please help me convince Merc that when he visits in December, we should do a Ouija board. Because I would love to. I could decorate the little shed we have in the backyard, make it real spooky, and then we could do the Ouija board back there and record it.
I don't think Deirdre will allow the Ouija board in my car, so you would have to go
I'd buy one. Yeah, I'm sure they're on Amazon for like $10.
I think they're 13.
Oh, okay. Can you spot me $3?
I really don't want to.
They freak you out that much?
But yes, they're dangerous if if they are real. They are dangerous.
Okay, but it's just going to be in the shisha. In fact, when I get the Amazon package, I won't even bring it in the house. I'll go around the backyard with my gate and just bring it to the shed. I won't have it ever come into the house.
Okay, but you can't.
Yes!
You can't. Wait.
Okay.
You can't joke about it. In the case that it is real.
Isn't it?
No. In the case that it is real, like there is a very specific way of introducing yourself and closing it out.
Do you know how to do it, or are we going to have to look up this kind of stuff?
I'm going to have to re-look it up. That's exactly what I did when I did the experience in the house.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure that I did it right.
Are you going to be controlling it, or am I going to be controlling it?
Huh? I mean, both of us can be on it, but I'm not going to trust you, and you're not going to trust me.
I know, that's the problem.
So
let's have, maybe Christina will be like a third party. I don't know how she feels about it. We've never really talked about Ouija boards.
yeah, I'd be interested in her view of ghosts and stuff.
Do you think Jelly could control it?
No.
Okay. That would be kind of cute, though.
It would be.
It summons a dog ghost.
All dogs go to heaven instantly.
Oh, okay.
No ghosts.
Okay. All right. We're going to do that in December.
Okay.
If you really don't want to, we don't have to, obviously.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
But
are you going to be able to go to sleep?
Yeah. I'm gonna go play some Phasmophobia.
Okay.
Okay. that was our spooky segment for our Halloween
Yeah, I liked it.
our Halloween version of our podcast.
This
So,
actually, this podcast comes out on Halloween.
oh shoot.
Yeah. So
Cool.
happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Let us
Cool.
let us know your ghost stories, either in the
Yes.
Discord or in the comment section, because we'd love to know,
Yes.
and what you think about ghosts in general. So,
Please.
all
We
right.
need to convince him, guys.
Yeah, convince. I will say I'm pretty certain that they're not real, but I wouldn't say that I'm completely like there's no way at all.
Have you ever watched any of the Ghost Hunters show?
Very briefly, but that stuff's just all fake
Goodbye.
in my view.
My podcast. It was nice talking to you.
Like, I feel like that's all just made up.
You know what? Just go out and vote, and yeah.
Vote for the ghosts.
I mean, with how old the presidents are, we
true.
might be having
That's
a
true.
ghost president.
Yeah. All righty. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.